Now, may we publish it, Miss Brady? Why did you make the decision to go to Violator Records after that incident? Because I knew that Violator was the management company for 50 Cent. And who worked at Violator Records? Chris Lighty. Was there an office that you knew of for G Unit? Not at that time. So where were the physical locations that you associated with G Unit? Right there. Can we put up Government Exhibit 600C? What are we looking at here? That's the doors for the building where Violator is located. And what exactly did Andre Collier do with respect to those doors? He shot at the doors. Do you know what happened to the doors? The doors were hit. Did the glass break? I don't remember. What gun was used? I think it was a .38. Whose gun was it? His. Can we put up Government Exhibit 600Y? What are we looking at here, Mr. Stewart? The block of 25th Street or 25th Street. And can you point on the laser pointer where Czar was and where Violator was? Czar would have to be somewhere around over here. Pointing to the right side of the photograph, the row of the buildings on the right side, Violator would have to be somewhere up here. Pointing to near the red awning on the left side of the photograph. Now, did anyone order you to do the shooting? No. Were you paid for the shooting? Yes. Who paid you? Jimmy. How much? $2,000. Did you have a conversation with Jimmy about this incident? Yes. What did you say to him and what did he say to you? Jimmy told me that, he was giving me like chastising me, telling me, don't be doing that stuff for them guys. Don't be doing that for free. That, getting old now, need to know my value. Leave that for games guys. Them guys on the front line up there jumping around, popping bottles with him. Let those guys do it. I need them to understand my value. You don't do that stuff for free. What did you say? Just listened and agreed with him. And did you ever attempt to shoot at the Violator offices again? Yes. Do you remember when that was? 2006, I think February. How did it come to be that you did that? Me and Jimmy kept talking and he called it off and asked me again and called it off and asked me again. We're constantly communicating about it. And I went through there one night with Andre as a driver and I was walking through the alley to go check out the area. Well, let me stop you there. What was your intention when you went there? To get inside the building and shoot up Chris Lighty's office. Why? Because of the issue we were having with G Unit and Violator. And you said Jimmy kept calling it off and not calling it off. So at that moment, was it called off or not called off? Not. It was not called off. So you were going there, why? To shoot it up. You were trying to get inside this time? Yeah, that was the plan, to go inside and go up to the office and shoot at the doors. And so what happened? As I got out the car, I left the gun in the car to go stake out the area, see what it looked like. And there was a yellow cab that pulled up with undercover police officers in it. And, well, at the time, did you know they were undercover police officers in the yellow cab? No, they jumped out, guns drawn, searched me, detained me, searched the area, found my car, searched the car, found the gun, arrested me and Andre. Did you actually do a shooting that day? No. Were you charged? Yes. Put up 600B, please. What are we looking at here? You can see the front of Zara Entertainment over here and the church next door, and between the church alleyway between here is where I was arrested at. Where? Can you use the pointer? So in between the alleyway there, is there an alleyway? There is an alleyway there between the church. And that two sides of the church right here. And that's where you were arrested? Yes. Now, were you instructed to shoot at the doors? Yes. And thank you, Miss Brady. What were you charged with? Possession of a weapon with intent to use. What happened then? And was Mr. Collier also charged? Yes. What happened to that case? It was dismissed. By the way, what car had you been using? The car? Yeah. I had an Infiniti at the time. That was your car? Yes. Why was the case dismissed? We won in pretrial motions and won it on a constitutional rights violation. Now, were you involved in any conflict with G Unit immediately after that case was dismissed? Yes. Where did that occur? The Apollo Theater in Harlem. You remember the month and year? Yes, December. I think it was December '06. Could we put up Government Exhibit 650A? What are we looking at here? The Apollo Theater. And why were you there? I was there because Jimmy called me. That was the day after I was released from prison for the case, and he wanted to see me. It was the day after the case was dismissed, and I went up there for the Hip Hop Award, Mixtape Awards, and he asked me to meet him. And did you meet him? Yes. What happened when you met him up there? Was anyone with him? Yes. Who did you see with Jimmy? I remember a guy named Courtney that was there. I think Teddy was there. Teddy Coleman? Yes. And what happened when you met up with Jimmy and the people he was with? We were standing downstairs in the lower level, and I think we were trying to figure out where the seating area was. And as we're in there, downstairs, we hear a large commotion, rowdy, loud commotion set up. Group of guys just bum rushing through security, the police bum rushing past police, and I just figured it was G Unit. Never been anywhere with them before, and somebody says it's G Unit, and there goes Yayo. Did you see Tony Yayo? Yes, I did. What did you see him do, if anything? Just walking with his crew. Did you see him speak to anybody? Yeah, he posted up by a wall where we were at, and he said something to Jimmy. He said to him, "What's up with the boy? Game." Did Jimmy say anything back? Jimmy's first words to him was "Sapa sa." What does that mean? I don't know exactly the meaning, but I know it's like a Haitian greeting. I was surprised Jimmy spoke to him like that. And was there an exchange without saying what it was, exchange between Jimmy and Tony Yayo? Yeah, Tony Yayo was talking real aggressive. Jimmy was being real passive, and I just didn't like the way it was going. And I stepped in and started talking back and forth with them and raising my voice, somewhat threatening one of the guys that I knew in passing that was with G Unit then. And I just grabbed Jimmy, said, "Come on, let's go." Where did you go? We went upstairs. What happened upstairs? We were up there talking and we're upstairs. I don't know what we were still doing there, but they start coming up the stairs. I step back away from Jimmy and them and I go by. There's a bar behind me and I grab a bottle and G Unit blocks the exit to the stairs where we're at. And half of them start walking over to the other exit as if to not let us be able to escape from them. But some of them started to walk away from the back exit, left one guy there named Fox. And in the process, it looked like he was about to do something. The other guys are standing watching patiently. They see me and they're like, green top," screaming to him. I have a green hat with green jacket, and he looks and pauses with his hand in his waistband. I figured he had a gun, and he starts looking at me and walking away. And I just grabbed Jimmy when he passes us, said, "Come on, let's go." And we go down the back stairs. What happened when you got downstairs? We left, and not too long after, Khalil came and met us. And what did you see Khalil do? Khalil was outside talking with Jimmy, and another car pulled up with two guys in it, and they were communicating. I was off to the side. Put up Government Exhibit 4. Who is that? That's Khalil Abdullah. So then what happened? We leave. I remember what happened immediately after that. I know I ended up in a truck. I think it was an Escalade. Did anyone tell you to go into a car? Yeah, I was with Jimmy. What did Jimmy say? Wait right here. He left. Who did he go with? I don't know. Who were you waiting for? I'm not sure if it was the driver, Courtney. I don't remember who was in the driver's seat. I was in the back of the truck. You're waiting in the car, though? Yeah. And then what happened? How long were you waiting? Maybe about a half hour to an hour. What was the next thing that happened? Jimmy came back. What, if anything, did he say? He said he got them. He shot up Tony Yayo's Bentley. Did he say what gun he used? His .45. Did he say whether anybody helped him do that? No. What did you say? I didn't say nothing. And then where did you go? I don't remember right now. After Jimmy came back, did you see Khalil with him? No. Now, Mr. Stewart, did there come a time when members of G Unit retaliated against Jimmy? He thinks. Well, did there come a time when an act of violence was committed against Jimmy or one of his associates? Well, there was acts of violence committed against me. There was acts of violence committed against his son. There was a time when he thought he was followed by G Unit. We'll talk about all that, but let's first talk about the acts of violence. Well, what happened first? The very first thing of those you just listed. I think his son getting slapped. His son got slapped. Well, first of all, when did this happen? Do you remember a month or year? I think it happened in '07. You remember the month? No. Can we put up Government Exhibit 22? Who is that? Jabulani. That's Jimmy's son. And in 2007, about how old was Jabulani? I think maybe 13, 14. And did you know Jabulani? Yes. Thank you, Miss Brady. Do you remember the day that Jabulani was assaulted? Yes. Where were you when you found out? I was at Czar. And what happened? How did you first find out about it? I was headed home. I think I had left Czar and I was headed home, and Teddy just kept calling me. I didn't want to go back. I was upset with Jimmy over Foxy Brown, and Teddy just kept calling me, and I eventually came back. And did Teddy, when he kept calling you, did you finally speak to him? When I came back, I thought he was calling me for a problem with me and Jimmy. You and Jimmy had been arguing? We had a little dispute. What were you arguing about, just briefly? Over Foxy Brown. Some things she was saying and said I said it. So what did Teddy say when he called? Come back to the office. And did you? Dude want to see me, and eventually I did. When you came back to the office, what did you see? I saw Jimmy sitting there looking really upset and in deep thought. I saw Teddy looking a little nervous, and I seen Jabulani looking shaken up. What was he doing? Looked like I saw tears in his eyes. What was he wearing? Do you remember? I think I remember dark-colored jacket. Not exactly sure. Do you remember any words on anything he was wearing? No. Now, when you got there, did you speak to anybody? Yes. Who did you speak to? Teddy. What did Teddy tell you? He told me that. Objection to the conversation with Teddy. Your Honor, this is a co-conspirator statement. The objection is overruled. Teddy was telling me about the incident that happened where Jabulani was walking down the block and Tony Yayo and a couple of his goons were coming out. saw him, asked him why he had on the Czar t-shirt or hoodie or something of that nature. And it led to them, Tony Ayo was amongst them. I think they said 50 Cent was in the truck or got in the truck and said they slapped him, threw him down or something, and flashed a gun on him. Who slapped who? Who is the victim? Who is the aggressor? Jabulani, Jimmy's son, was the one that got slapped and roughed up, and Tony Ayo and his guys were the aggressors. And what were the names of people from G Unit that you remember being involved? They said 50 Cent was there. He just gave like a blind eye, got in his truck. Tony Ayo was there, and they said Lodi was there. Who is Lodi? Lodi Mac, a member of G Unit, also known as Lowell Fletcher. Can we put up Government Exhibit 17? Who is that? That's Lodi Mac. Thank you, Miss Brady. So after you heard this, what was your reaction? I was upset, angry. Why? Because I knew Jabulani for more than half his life. He used to sleep in my house. Did you speak to Jimmy? Not in the office immediately. Did you see anything? Huh? What did you do? What was the next thing you did after you found out? I remember us leaving and we were talking. I don't really remember too much of what, but I know a few of the guys that Jimmy associated with pulled up. And where were you when you were talking? In front of Jimmy's office outside on 25th Street in front of the building. Who pulled up? I remember Little D pulling up. Who is Little D? One of Jimmy's friends, Derek English. Put up Government Exhibit 11. Who is that? It's Little D. Who else came? Hitler. Who is Hitler? One of Jimmy's friends. Who else do you remember coming? I'm not sure right now. What was the next thing that happened as you're standing on 25th Street? As we're standing on 25th Street, I saw, well, I think Teddy was there too. Teddy was there, but Teddy said, there goes dude brother, talking about Chris Lighty's brother. He was walking with another guy. And I said to Jimmy, what you going to do? He's like stuck, like he puzzled. And I'm like, what? They touched your son, a kid. He's like, yeah, that's his brother though, like saying like he got nothing to do with it. But I'm like, they put hands on your son, all gloves are off. And he looked at me like kind of nodded his head, a half nod. And I said, you ain't got no razor or nothing? And he asked Little D or one of them, and Little D had one. And I started walking behind Chris Lighty's brother and took a swing at him with the razor, and it hit him in the head and broke on his head. The razor did? Yes. What happened next? His friend this guy he was with pulled out a knife, and they both started coming at me. They were just watching, and I started to back up and just left. Did you have any other weapons with you other than the razor? No, Hitler did. What did Hitler have? He had a gun. Did he take it out? Nope. So you just walked away and they just walked away? Yes. Could you see whether Chris Lighty's brother was injured from what you did to him? No, but I heard. Objection to what he heard. Well, what could you see? I left. Could you see any blood? No. Could you feel whether you made contact with him? Yes.